What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another review. And as you can see in front of you, it is going to be on the ginormous Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Majin Buu. So let's get this dude cracked out of the packaging and get straight into it. So coming out of the packaging, he's actually not as big as I thought. His packaging itself is just pretty big because it comes into two clamshell pieces put together because it's for his cape. But he's still a pretty big figure nonetheless. So measuring him to the top of his head, he's just under 7 inches. And then to the top or rounded highest point of his body, which is his antenna, it goes to about 7.5 almost. So for some quick height comparisons, we'll show you some SH Figuarts action right here. We got the Majin Vegeta, and then we have the 2.0 Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku with the demonical fit Super Saiyan Blue hair. Here we have the DC Multiverse Black Manta from the new Aquaman movie, and the Marvel Legends Omega Red from the Sauron Wave. Here we have one of my personal grails and one of the latest additions to my collection, the Mezco 112 Joker. And last but not least, one of the biggest figures in my collection, it is the San Diego Comic-Con or event exclusive colored Broly. So you can see these two are not necessarily the same height, but Boo is definitely wider than him. So they still make up for some pretty decent like size figures. But the one thing that's interesting to note is that this Broly, he's kind of, it's not dense because it's still like hollow plastic, but he has a good weight to him. Unlike the Majin Buu figure. The Majin Buu figure is surprisingly light. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's actually pretty hollow in there. So he's actually a pretty light figure despite his size. So going into articulation, I'm just going to run through it very briefly. He has shoulder articulation that goes around, and then he has a somewhat of a butterfly joint going forward, not necessarily much going back. Some nice shoulder rotation. He has bicep swivel, which I think is dope. And then you see like some nice accents on here. Double jointed elbows, and he can go well past 90, decent. And then he has the standard SH Figuarts swivel for his wrists. For his neck, it can look up. I mean, not a whole lot. Look down, not much at all. But he does have double articulation. So the tip in the inside of his head, let me pull it off, has a ball peg right here, so you can have some articulation right there. And he has a neck joint where you can move it around. Let me go and put this guy back on real quick. So for some of the intricate parts to his articulation, and some personally of mine just because I think is actually pretty like smart, as you can see here, there's like no waist joints, none that you can really see unless you really look into it. So you would think that he wouldn't have much waist articulation, but that's not really the case. So he can move around like a decent amount. I'm pretty sure there's a barbell type to go from his bottom to the inside of his belly, but gives him some decent articulation. So you can twist and turn him and have somewhat of an ab crunch, even though he doesn't have abs. So that's some nice articulation right there. And the one that I do like, because I was also curious when they first announced him how they would do articulation for his legs, because he does have small legs, which he does have knee joints, by the way. Some swivel right here where it connects the pant leg to like, I guess, the stocking type. And then he has toe pivot and somewhat, I guess not really much, ankle pivot. I think it's also due in nature to the sculpt. So he can go up a little bit and down somewhat. But the thing I find interesting is he can do the splits very well. I think this articulated joint is actually pretty smart. So it doesn't go full 360. It can go up like this and up like that. And it can go straight out. But once it goes straight out like that, it doesn't really go back and forth. It's only like 3/4 of a circle, so to speak. Now here's the part is where I move the lighting just a little bit just to showcase some of the accessories. He comes with a decent amount of accessories. I'm not going to say the greatest, but he definitely does come with some welcome accessories. So he has 2 pointer fingers, or 2 pointer hands because he's wearing gloves. So he can do like, Boo, turn you into chocolate, you know, that kind of stuff if you guys are fans of the series. So you guys know somewhat of what he does. he has 2 fisted hands that come on him, and then he has 2 holding hands, so he can hold the chocolate that he comes with. I wish these were a little bit wider, so he can do like some Kamehameha. Actually, you know, you can actually probably do the Kamehameha like this a little bit, but in the nature of his fat self, you can't really do, like, you can't really charge up the Kamehameha, you know, like how he does in the show. Actually, I mean, I guess that's the best you can get at it. He also comes with a chocolate accessory, which you can position in both hands. He can't really hold it securely with both hands, but he can hold it snug and secure with one hand. Another thing that I wish they would have included is a Deborah cookie. If you guys do know about the series, how he turns Deborah into a cookie, I think that would have been a nice addition to it. And then he also comes with 2 separate heads. So he comes with the neutral smiling face that's on him. And he comes with an open-eyed, mean-looking smile. And then he comes with the tongue sticking out, teasing you, na-na-na-boo-boo, or, you know, chocolate eating face. So, you know, you can do that thing, you know, stuff like that. And the faces are nicely sculpted. I like his ears. I like the fact that they gave us heads instead of faces. I'm pretty sure, I don't know how they would have worked the faces in, but you can still see, I don't know if you can see it very well if the lighting is a little too harsh, that there's a tiny seam right here. It looks, you can definitely tell it in person. It goes all the way around the face. So that's where how they sculpted to keep all the head cast the same and to give them different faces. I think if they were to blend that in a little bit better, it would have been a lot nicer. But then the holes on his face or his head are nicely sculpted, as well as the one that are on his arms. And the last accessory comes with is his cape. Now his cape separates into 3 parts, and there's pegs on each of the cape, or each piece of the cape. So you just plug it into his back, and I'll show you guys that in a bit. I know a lot of people don't like hard plastic capes. I mean, I'm okay with it, like if it's there and if it doesn't necessarily get in the way too much. But if it's a bother, then I understand people not liking it. Let me see if I can put it in on camera here. But yeah, like to me, his cape actually looks nice because it blends pretty good. Oh, nope. All right, let me do this real quick. Okay, so that was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be because I was scared that I felt like it was going to break. But here's his cape. It doesn't look too bad, honestly. It looks, you know, it definitely could be better. But from the front aspect of how he looks like that, he looks pretty good. So let me see if I can just balance it. He is definitely a little back heavy, as you can see. See, I can lean him forward like a decent amount and then have him stick. Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, in pictures, you can definitely get some good posability out of him. But yeah, I wish the cloth cape would be a nicer touch. Okay, so I was able to get him in a somewhat decent pose to where he's stable and balanced. But you can see I can definitely fix it up a little bit and have him, actually there, look, there you go. So yeah, he does look pretty good, honestly. Overall, he's a very, very solid figure. I actually put this in a poll on my Instagram of what was the next DBZ SH Figuarts to get, and Buu was chosen by a lot of people. So I got genuinely curious, like if a lot of people like Buu, maybe there is something special about him. And considering the fact that I already pre-ordered the Super Buu, the buff skinny one, the tall one, and how he comes with an alternate head of Buu actually using his antenna to turn people into chocolate, I definitely had to get this to, you know, complete the set. So hopefully they make a Kid Buu and I can make that trifecta, because the figurized Kid Buu is definitely not going to be up to something I want, because I had some of the figurized model kids before, but they kind of feel cheap and they feel flimsy, and I'm scared they're going to break if I pose them. But other than that, this is a very, very solid figure. I definitely have high praises for this. I would definitely give it, out of 10, probably an 8.5. Definitely an 8.5. If he had like a few more accessories and his cape was a little bit better, it could even be a soft plastic and I would have been okay with that. He definitely would have been scored higher. So 8.5 out of 10. Definitely a good solid figure. If you guys are a fan of the Dragon Ball Z line, the Dragon Ball Z anime, or just action figures in general, he is definitely something worth considering picking up. So yeah, that's going to do it, guys, for this review. It's going to be a nice, simple, short, sweet review. Thank you guys very much for all your support. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Please like the video so I can get this channel, like, I guess, more spread out and more recognized. But other than that, thanks, guys. I will see you in the next video. Peace.